Yeah. What up? What up? It's Big Twins, aka the grimy one. Y'all know the Mobb Deep infamous clique. Yo, check it out, man. I want y'all to tap in to Cigar Talk Toronto, man. You know, they be putting it in, interviews and this and that. So check them out. Cigar Talk Toronto from Big Twin, y'all. You already know.
All right, welcome back to another episode Cigar Talk Toronto. We are on the Block 105 radio. And shout out to everybody on the block that tunes in like always. We appreciate you. We appreciate you tuning in. You guys have been great supporters of the show. And tonight we got another great episode for you. We got the owner of Morningstar Music Group, not only the owner, but he is an MC. He's a producer and an engineer. We got Kareem. What's going on, buddy?
How's it going, man? Glad to
It,
be here.
it's good, and it's getting a bit better now because I'm about to light up my Croatian Mafia cigar here and indulge.
All
Now,
right.
I gotta say, you come with heavy praise. And I was talking to Lefty Bacino. And you know what they always say? It's not what people say when they're with you. It's what they say when they're not with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you come with heavy praise, and he credits you to his music career, saying, if not for you, there would be no Lefty Pacino. So shout
Yeah.
out to Lefty Pacino, and shout out to you for bringing us Lefty Pacino.
Sure, that's my bro.
So you're an MC, a producer, and an engineer.
Yes, sir.
Can you break down the three levels involved in, because now I'm curious, like how do you keep up with all three aspects of the music industry in that sense?
Very delicately. Needless to say, I got a few more gray hairs now than what I did when I started. And I'm a father of four. So
Oh shit.
uh,
Not just one or two, four. That's
yeah, four.
that's good for a few more grays.
Yeah, sure. So I was always artist first. So I started writing and recording music when I was 13. I'm a typical chance situation of I had bad experiences going to studios early on as a recording artist, dealing with
Okay.
engineers who didn't care, things like that. And even affordability early on, I'm talking like when I'm like 14, 15 or so. So I was always recording myself anyway, right?
Okay.
Which more difficult when I decided to start going to studios because a lot of times I wouldn't like what it is that I would get back. The guys wouldn't get corrections, those kind of things. Didn't have
Yeah.
that kind of input, right? So I'd get home with it and I didn't like it. Further fueled me to keep recording myself, right? And then you get good at it, and then people recognize that you're good at it, and then they want you to do it for them, right? So that birthed engineering right there.
Yeah.
I was selling studio time out of my grandmother's house when I was in high school, literally.
Okay. So you learn how to make money real quick.
Yeah. So as far as the production, I feel like a lot of people that can produce can also engineer.
Okay.
Some people have a strong suit, right? But like naturally, if you're a beat maker, just naturally people want to get on your beat, then you would want to record their vocals too, if it just happens, right? Like that's just business aside, that's just hip hop, right? So I'm a little bit of the opposite where I had to learn how to produce. I was good with vocals first, and I'm still in the everlasting journey of learning production, right? So um I think today things are a little tricky when it comes with dealing with producers as far as like rights are concerned and dealing with leases and all of these things, right? And I reached a point myself where if I can't shake your hand or if I don't have a relationship with you, then I don't really have an interest in wanting to use your production. Right. Or if you do come out with a really good production, then I have to come out of pocket, right, and
Yeah.
like buy rights for it in order to be used. I've heard a lot of, especially recently, a lot of tragedies with these guys not purchasing their instrumentals and not buying their beats and just doing the YouTube game, and then they getting caught up in it later, right? So for me, it's easier if I just do the production in the first place, or one of my good brothers does the production, and I keep it as in-house as possible.
Yeah.
And that's kind of my name of the game when it comes to business in general, is just keeping as many things home as I can.
That's a good business aspect in any business.
Yeah, sure. So that's kind of like what filled that, and I think that covers it in order. So it would be artist first, engineer second, and then being a producer.
What's I've been hearing about, and this is something I didn't know a lot about, was beat rentals. What is beat rentals?
You got me. The only thing that I could think that would be going towards would be maybe leases, right?
Yeah.
But that to me is confusing, right? Because you got a producer who will make a beat and then he can lease it out for 100,000 units to as many people as he wants to. You know what I'm saying? So, like, who reserves the rights except for him, right? He reserves the rights still. You're only buying like the license to use it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what was, because I've been seeing that term floating around recently, and I think this is going to what you were talking about with the modern day times where um things are just not uh on the right page.
Yeah, I mean, and there may be some who have a further understanding of that than I do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So they might feel that doing those things is worth it to them. A lot of people say, "Oh, well, I don't need to buy the beer, and I could just use it until it catches on, and then by the time it catches on, I'll have this money." Right? It's like a fantasy of they'll have this kind of money to pay off who it is that they feel like they need to pay off by that time, right? But I'm seeing now where a lot of guys can't even get their projects up on United Masters without providing lease paperwork. Right. So I've engineered a lot of mixtapes and albums, especially here recently, that like can't get released because these guys are using 14 YouTube beats. Right.
Yeah.
So
Is that just the easier route instead of having to go through the licensing and even purchasing a beat yourself, or just to go and take a beat off YouTube and hope for the best?
I think people get out of it what they decide to put into it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So I don't think that it's easier for them to do it that way. I think that's a form of ignorance in one
Yeah.
way, right? So you
Lack
know
of
what I'm saying? I'm
investment.
guilty. Yeah, early on, I'm guilty. I got shit out there. I'm sure that I don't have rights to. You know what I'm saying? Early on, but once you recognize it and you what it is, then you try to correct it. You see what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Some of these guys will use YouTube beats until they get burnt. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
What
I've done features, and the feature never purchased the instrumental. We go in on a video and shoot the video, and then it gets shadow banned on YouTube. You see what I'm saying?
Oh shit. Yeah, yeah.
Nobody,
Okay.
right? So I try to navigate myself around that as best as possible.
Um, what do you think brings out the most creativity in yourself when it comes to the three aspects?
Probably being an artist brings out the most creativity because I have the most control that way.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And I get to write what it is that I feel. I get to write what it is that's on my mind. When you're being an engineer, is more being of service more than anything. So you do still get your creative input, and depending on your client and who you're dealing with, dictates how much input it is that you give or are allowed to give. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that because from my knowledge, you kind of like piece together in terms of an engineer. And again, you could break it down further because I'm not that knowledgeable with the engineer aspect of it. but
Sure.
you kind of conduct the album or the single, um, and you kind of make it have a certain flair to it.
Mm-hmm.
Now when it comes to that, is there ever, and it's not in a like a negative way, but do you get a lot of clashing of views when it comes to uh, an artist brings you a track or an album, and now you're looking at it going, you know what, it would be best like this, and this, and they're going, no, I want it like this.
It depends on who you're dealing with.
Yeah,
So I have a lot of clients when it comes to studio time, which is what I mainly make money out of. Every client is different. All right, I have some clients that have no input. They got the record and they're like, "Yo, bro, do what it is that you think is best for this song,"
yeah,
and we roll through it. You know what I mean? No problems. That's it. I have some that are a little bit more particular, and then there comes coaching. So some people are a little bit more susceptible to be coached than others.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And then you have on the opposite end of that, you have some artists that aren't looking for a coach and they aren't looking for your input. They're looking for the quality and the sound of it in general, and they need somebody to hit the record button. Right? I've dealt with guys like that. Whereas you hit the record, they say what they got to say, you clean it
yeah.
up, and then that's it. They don't need you to tell them one way or the other, or they don't want you to. You know what I mean? So you deal with all kinds.
Where do
I
you
would
find,
say out of all of those three things, engineering has the most to do with customer service
yeah,
than anything. You know
yeah, I
what I'm
could see
saying?
that.
It's
Yeah, yeah,
almost like a barber. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
got your one guy that gives you a good lineup, and then you got one guy that might push your shit back, and you don't want to deal with him
yeah,
anymore.
yeah. No, that's a good analogy right there that people like myself could understand a little less technical, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Um, where do you find your inspiration when it comes to putting a beat together? Like how do you assemble a beat? Like where do you start? How do you
A lot of time for me is melody first,
Yeah,
and if I'm making it for myself, then it's based off of how I feel. Like I say, out of all three of them, I think production is the newest to me. So like some of these guys are nasty with an MPC. I'm not nasty with an MPC. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So I kind of go with what it is that I feel. A lot of these guys got a lot of different, like a plethora of sound kits. I'm developing mine. You know what I'm saying? So some of these guys are like, oh, I know exactly what sound I need. It's right here in this folder, and they go straight to it. I'm
yeah.
still accumulating those things. You see what I'm saying? So it's based off of mostly how I feel and what's being drawn to me at that time.
When it comes to producing a beat for yourself, right? Do you go lyrics first and then you create a beat for it, or do you create a
No,
beat and then you run your lyrics over it?
I'm spoiled, so I do both.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm spoiled now because I used to be the guy that would, write music in the car or would just write to myself in general. Now I write in front of Pro Tools because I'm always here.
Yeah,
So as I get to a point as I'm developing the beat, once it catches me and I feel like, oh, this is giving me this kind of feeling. This is my topic. Once I get my topic, I'm rolling with it. And that's
yeah,
at any stage of the beat. Right. And then also if I'm producing for myself, you write in a stream of thought, but I kind of write interchangeable fours, if that makes sense. Right. So my first four for the verse that I came in writing, as the production is developing, and I figure out where my B sections and my chorus comes in, that might have been my littest four. That might have been my most catchy four. That should be the chorus. That should be the hook if it's the most catchy out of what it
yeah,
is that you got in front of you. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So maybe you change how you deliver it or whatever, but because I write in front of Pro Tools and if I'm doing the production, I have the power to change it however I want.
yeah.
Yeah.
How many years have you been into production at this point?
Production alone, probably two.
Two? Okay.
Yeah, production
Um,
alone. That's this to me.
have you ever made a beat and you were making it for yourself and you thought, you know what? No. this beat would sound a lot fit this artist more than myself, and you reserve that beat for them?
That's happened, but more than likely our artists will hear it and will like it. And if I think that they'll do it justice, then I'll pass it off.
Okay, so you're kind of selective with letting certain
Yeah.
beats go.
Yeah, a little bit more. Because if I made it for myself, then I would like it to be for myself.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? But there's been times where I've passed the beat up and the artist kills it, and that's great. You know what I'm saying? So, in the other hands, if you meet a guy and he comes around and he really likes the beat and he's got money, you write him a release.
Yeah, yeah.
You draw the paperwork. You know what I mean? So it just kind of all depends.
Now you said you started emceeing when you were 13.
Yeah.
What was bring us back to the year and time in hip hop, and who would have been your inspirations at that time to get you into emceeing?
My first like loves of hip hop was like Detroit rap.
Okay.
My first love. So your Eminems, your Insane Clown Posse, Twisted, your Midwest rap with Tech Nine, and the whole strange music movement. I would have to say probably strange music was probably one of my heaviest influences at the age of 13 to 19. Yeah, so Midwest rap, chopper flow, stuff like that.
That's actually a name you don't hear a lot of, is Tech Nine, to be honest.
Yeah, you should hear more of it. Yeah,
Um,
so I think there for a while they were like the number one independent label.
yeah,
They had that going for quite some time. I'm not sure exactly what they're doing these days, um, but they really figured it out. And to certain degrees, on a very much smaller scale, I've like based my business models off of the strange music model, and that again goes back to keeping as many things as in house as possible. Because
yeah,
if you go at their, at what they got going on, they got everything down to merchandise all right there.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, merchandising is key too, especially if you can keep all that as in-house as possible.
Yeah.
And, uh, Insane Clown Posse.
Mhm.
Would you have considered yourself a juggalo?
Yeah, I am.
Have you have you ever done the ICP face paint?
Yeah, when I was younger. I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't do it much now. Early in the early 2000s, I was painted up.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
That's they were very unique. What was it? Two or three of them?
Insane Clown Posse itself was two. You
Two.
had
Okay.
Shaggy and Jay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know too much about. I know about them, but I never really dabbled too much into their music. But so you
Yeah.
like more like that, because like Tech Nine is kind of walks the line between like rock and hip hop as well.
Yeah, and hardcore.
Yeah. So you like
Yeah.
that style. That's what inspired you, was that hardcore.
Yeah, that's what got me into it.
Uh,
Even D12. D12 was my thing. They
yeah.
were very, yeah. So yeah, that whole thing when I was a teenager, that was my thing.
Do you think Detroit hip hop is underrated?
I'm sorry.
Do you think Detroit hip hop is underrated?
No, I think some people just have more success than others.
Hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And then it depends on what you define as successful. Like Eminem is considered Detroit rap, and he's one of the biggest of all time.
Yeah, but
He just wasn't
when
doing it.
yeah, but there's not too many other names that, I guess the general public would really know when it comes to Detroit hip hop. Like the general public wouldn't know, like ICP, Tech Nine, Royce the 5'9",
Right,
D12,
exactly.
right? Well, they might know D12 more because they're aligned with Eminem, but
Mm,
um, and I guess the general public is what's the is pushed towards the masses from the system, right? So,
sure.
um, stemming from there, and you started your emceeing, was it just kind of like something you were doing for fun, or when did it turn serious for you?
Um, music has always been my way. It's been my therapist.
Okay.
Even, you know what I mean? Even now, I'm 32, about to be 32 in a couple of days, actually. So, it's always, even to this day, it's therapeutic. You know what I mean? I use rap as an MC to vent.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that's when it's always the purest, at least for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I never really made music based off of what I thought other people would like.
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. To be
Yeah.
honest, that's what makes it more genuine, more raw. It
Mhm.
it makes it more you. When you make it for other people, you're not making music that I would assume you feel satisfied with in terms of that's what you really wanted to put out and portray in that specific track.
Mhm.
Now, how do you put a track together? Do you ever like say for example, you'll be like, you know, I seen you have a motorcycle.
Yeah.
You ever be out riding and just something clicks in your head and you're just like, I gotta write something to this.
Yeah, I have those times. If I'm not doing the production or if I already have like a production ready, it's based off of how it makes me feel at that time. And then I stem from there. Also, then with features is easier because a lot of times if you're doing a feature with an artist, then they already have a topic. Then it's
Yeah,
about how I can match that topic in my own way. You see what I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So it all depends. Like usually when I don't ever get to have like that spark and then lay it off. It
yeah,
doesn't work that way for me. So for me, I had to have that spark and then get right on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've pulled over and wrote songs like or I'm listening to a beat and I'm like, oh, this would be great to that skirt. You know what I mean? Sit there. If
yeah.
I have that kind of time, that freedom to do so, I'll sit there and lay it out. So I think for me it's always beat first. So it's
Okay.
rare. Yeah, for me it's never lyrics first, it's always beat first.
When and this is something that I'm always very intrigued with because, as an MC, you could have thousands of tracks, right?
Sure.
How do you keep them individualized so that it's not all the same theme, the same story, the same flow? Like, how do you keep each individual track as its own entity?
I have to say that that's never been a goal, but I do think I've been successful at. It's never something that I've sat down and tried to make sure that one thing doesn't sound like the other
Yeah,
necessarily. But I'm very cautious of not repeating bars and very cautious of not repeating rhymes. Right. So if I'm writing something and I'm like, I said that before, I'm scratching it out. I gotta come up with something else. You see what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That and I would say that I'm very versatile. Like I don't just do boom bap. I don't just rap. Like I'm cool with tune. You see what I'm saying? I've developed my auto tune side when I want to use it. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of all depends. Again, like every song has its own feeling.
yeah,
Every production has its own feeling. So it's just imprinting my thoughts upon it. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
And if you do that from a true place, I think then they all have their own unique, like, kind of form and identity. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah, that's just kind of how I feel about that.
What's your thoughts on the AI beat making these days?
Uh, it's interesting. I don't agree with it, right? But it seeps its way in regardless. Like even now, like my first couple years of dealing with production, like where do you really draw your line? Again, like autotune. Autotune in a sense is AI. All right.
Yeah,
It's something that automates your voice to stay within certain pitches that you're not necessarily hitting when you're in the booth. You see what I'm saying?
mhm,
So that's already an artificial like help, right? You have things like ozone that is artificial plugin that you use that helps you master songs. See what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
AI is in a sense embedded in that. What else? A lot of times when you're doing production, you got things like Arcade, Cosmos, all kinds of these plugins now that are coming out that weren't coming out when I first started doing this thing, right?
Yeah.
Where you can type in there, yo, I need something B flat at 140 BPMs, and it's gonna spit you out something that sounds pretty good, right? And you use it as a starting point if you choose to. You see what I'm saying? So I think like something that's full on AI doesn't have that human essence or that human creativity. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it could limit. I think it puts a ceiling on what could be created. You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because I don't think it comes from a true place because it's
Yeah.
artificial. It can only rely on things that it's already seen or heard or picked up. Um, and who knows what this thing is going to look like in 10 years?
Yeah.
You have no idea. Like I joked with my wife one time and told her, I'm like, yo, AI might put me out of business in 10 years. You never know. You see what I'm
AI
saying? These guys
AI might be
are
putting a lot of people out of business in a few years.
sure. Yeah, like graphic designers are catching it right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I'm trying to maintain my relationship with our in-house graphic designer now, but I could go on Chat GPT and tell it that I want X, Y, and Z, and it's gonna give me something close.
Yeah.
You
And
see what I'm saying?
and you know what? You know what's messed up because I say this because I see you're a biker, so I assume you got that adrenaline side to you, and you know I don't know if you like modifying things or not, but now you can go into Chat GPT and it'll write up a tune for your car.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
sketchy.
yeah. I wouldn't trust it on my bike.
No.
I'm sure it's capable, right? But when I go to get my bike tuned, I go to Crossbuilt or somebody like that and have them, give it a tune. You know what I mean?
So what are you riding out there?
Gixxer 750.
Okay, okay. And what got you into motorcycles?
Turns out my grandfather, whom I never met, was heavy into bikes. Um, I've always had an interest in them, but I never got one until about 3 years ago. My brother-in-law, my wife's brother, came home with a Yamaha, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll sell it to you." And I went out there. I used to ride dirt bikes and stuff, so it's kind of the same thing. I went out there,
Okay.
was right in the front yard, first gear down, let off the clutch, and I was down the street with it. First time ever on a sport bike. So, needless to say, I got the pink slip to it, fell in love with it. Didn't like it though because it was carbureted
Okay, yeah.
and had I was starting in the cold. Didn't like it, so I sold it and bought something that was fuel injected. And now I'm on a 2013 Gixxer, and I love it.
Are you ever afraid you're gonna kill your not kill yourself, but kill
Yeah,
yourself?
yeah, and you're supposed to be. Yeah,
Does,
you're supposed to be.
does that kind of keep you level-headed when you're out there riding?
Sure, and a lot of time my oldest rides with me. I have an 11-year-old that rides with me.
Okay.
A lot
So
of times. Yeah,
that
yeah.
definitely you definitely got to heat up the tires there and make sure that they're nice and safe for the road.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I'm very conscious. Like I love my children. I love my life.
Yeah,
I've seen guys that I've ridden with in the past pass away uh from, probably speeding, right? Or maybe even being under the influence. I didn't get the details, but I know he's no
yeah,
longer with me. And he used to ride with me at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
yeah,
Right. So every time I get on it, I throw a prayer up and I use common sense.
yeah.
So a lot of times these guys are getting into accidents and it's not always their fault, right? But if you're doing 80 and the 35 and somebody pulls out in front of you, then you know
Yeah,
what I
that's a
mean?
tough
So
one to maneuver around.
sure, you know what I mean? So they're really easy to get going fast, really hard to stop.
It, it's it's just that itch, man, that sudden itch to just go.
Sure.
And
Have it.
that's that split second. That's why I don't own a motorcycle because I probably wouldn't even be here today if I did.
Yeah.
Because
Well, if
I
I
got
would have had it in my 20s, I wouldn't be here either.
Yeah, especially in your 20s when you really have no fear.
Sure, yeah. I wouldn't have had like those things that help, scale that for me. But now I ride with a little bit more cautious. Like I do stupid stuff here and there. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't, but
We all do. We all
on
take trips to
the
Mexico.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 4-lane highway, low traffic, I'm gunning it. You know what I'm saying? Um, Other than that, you try to act like you got some sense. So, and they're really expensive to fix once you drop
Yeah.
them. That'll break you out of it too. And tires are expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a certain level of, because I'm not a rider, so, and I've always heard that there's a certain level of freedom you get when you're riding that's not comparable to when you're out cruising in your car.
Yeah, it turned out to be my second love. It really has. It turned out to be my second love. I love riding, especially alone. But there's a very big amount of peace that you get, especially when you're cruising.
Yeah.
Um, if you are into speed, then you end up so focused on going fast and paying attention that your thoughts melt away, right? Or you're cruising and you're chilling and you got good tunes on, you're listening to your favorite song. You know what I mean? Totally different
Yeah.
experience. I don't have the interest in driving fast in four-wheeled vehicles anymore because nothing is as fast as being on two.
And, and the amount of money you have to spend to go just as fast in four wheels,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah,
oftentimes unattainable for the average person.
sure. Yeah.
Um, would you compare, like, when you get on the mic and you're performing in front of people, is there a level of freedom you get there too, as comparable to when you're out riding?
Yeah, if you're doing it right. Right? You got a nice crowd and they know your music and they're involved with you and you get that energy on stage is unmatched every time.
So,
Right? If you're in the booth and you're creating something and you can hear it start to come to life and it's just you in there,
yeah,
right? Then you're excited. It's something that you love. Your heart gets to racing and you know what I mean? That's your
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
How do you because a lot of people, it's a common thing where you get up in front of people and you're about to perform, right?
Mhm.
Do you get nerves? And if so, how do you calm those nerves down to allow yourself to just flow?
I think for me, the first time I ever performed kind of like made it easier. I was 13 the first time I ever performed, and I didn't know I was going to be performing.
Okay.
Um, my aunt knew the host. I was at kind of like a poet slam thing, if I could relate it to anything. And I'm there just to observe. She knew that I
Yeah.
was writing songs in the room, right? And she takes me out there, and I had wrote a song recently, and you're there like 1 in the morning, and the host goes, "Oh, I hear we have a new young artist in the building," and he shines a spotlight at my table, and they call me up, and there's a room full of people, probably not a lot, maybe like 40, 50 people, but that was enough.
Yeah.
And I went up there, can't even see the first person in front of you because of the light on the stage, and I flowed at least half of it up there, right? So at 13, I would say I still get nerves as many stages as I've been on since then. I
Yeah.
think you should get nerves, right? And then as your time comes up and you know your set's about to start, you go up there and you do something that you love to do and you don't do it necessarily to please other people's judgments. You see what I'm saying? So either they
Yeah.
rock with you, they love it, or they don't, and you still do your thing and you go home the same way. You know what I'm saying? So um definitely has always been all my best experiences.
Is there a specific order you like to perform in?
Nah, I don't care. I'll crack it off if I got to.
I
Yeah,
like that.
now.
That's
Yeah,
that's
now I
that's
don't
that's the
care. I used
confidence right there.
yeah, I used to care, but now I don't care. I can go first, second, last. It don't matter. Yeah.
Um, Getting into emceeing. and establishing yourself as an artist. Actually, we could apply this to engineering and producing as well. What has been something that you thought would have been easy that turned out to be really hard, and how did you overcome it?
Thought that would have been easy and turned out to be hard. I don't know. That was a good question. I don't think any of this has been easy. So okay, so I got one for you. I thought in my innocence that making living off of music would have been easy, and I was wrong. All right. And you could put that under any of those hats, right? I will tell you that being an artist does not pay my bills. All right. Being an engineer and a producer pays my bills. That's what keeps my lights on. That's what feeds my children.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? I fought very hard to make that happen. All right. I did internships. I went to school. All kinds of things. And I sweated and I spent a lot of nights awake and I still grind every single day to make that happen.
Yeah.
All right. Now I have a team of engineers and I'm the ringleader and I'm still sweating to make sure things are happening. Right. And now I got two rents to pay. I got the business, which I'm in now. Right. And you got to make sure everything here is working and you got to make sure everybody's happy at home too. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And that was something that I didn't think it was going to be as hard as it was to make happen.
Yep.
And I overcame it by blood, sweat, and tears.
Do you think that when it comes to being successful, it's just, and you could apply it to people like, say, for example, boxers or professional athletes, that there's just a certain something in you that other people don't have, and that's that adversity to overcome and keep at it even when you think it's looking, dim.
Yeah. What was the question? I'm sorry.
No, do you think like you said, blood, sweat, and tears, right? And a
Did
lot
you
of
have
people,
to have those things in order to make something happen? Is that what you're asking?
like, it's not something that can be taught. It's something that you just genuinely have in you as a character.
Yeah, then you have to manifest it. I believe that you could do anything that you believe that you want to. You know what I mean? I'm like everybody else. I was a blue collar worker. I work jobs, right? I'll tell you that I hustle for freedom, not necessarily for money,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I've gotten myself at a place now where my day is different every day because I can dictate it. See what I'm saying? If I want to go to the studio and record music all day, I can and make good money. If I want to stay home and watch Netflix in my bed, then I can do that if I choose to. You see what I'm saying? But I don't care what it is that you're trying to accomplish. You have to put the work in. I have a problem with people who try to manifest things and don't put forth the effort to get those things to fruition. They think that if you just believe in it hard enough, it's just going to come down the pipe for you, and it doesn't work that way.
Or there's the hope that somebody's going to come and give you the opportunity, similar to the hope of winning the lottery.
And it's not going to work that way.
No.
You have to put forth that kind of effort. And I would say that I've been rewarded in the areas of my work that I've put forth the most effort in.
Yeah.
Right. So I think, right, if I wanted to truly be a successful artist, that if I applied the same effort that I took to be a successful engineer, then I could do that too. If I applied myself in that area. But for me, I found being an engineer was more feasible.
Yeah.
And that made sense. And that's what was obtainable to me at that time. So I wanted to hunt that down first.
Okay. So essentially what I'm gathering, and it's something that I've heard a lot of, if you were to give advice to somebody out there that wants to be an MC, would be have a day job while you're pursuing it.
Yeah, you should. But I didn't have like a lot of these luxuries, I'm sorry, that's a bad way to word it. Let me word it this way. Let's say that I had a lot of responsibility early on in my life. I'll word it that way, right? Through my own choices and actions,
Yeah.
right? So I decided to be a father early in my life. That include a certain amount of responsibility. I've always had to maintain a job.
Yeah.
I've always had to maintain a house since 20. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I didn't get the like party life in a sense. I didn't get to go fuck off. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I had a little person that was with me that I had to make sure was taken care of, despite my urges of wanting to just do music any and every day. I couldn't do that. My oldest son, he's with me now in the other room, but he was with me as a baby during my internship when I was interning at a studio to get a position at that studio. You see what I'm saying? He was
Yeah.
sleeping in there, everything else, watching Pops do his thing. And, I'm blessed that now, 9 years later, I still have some of the same clients that I did when I was doing the internship, and they're still with me today at my company. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So building blocks, but it
But
happened.
that's the way it was, you go back to the 70s and the 80s and people had kids early and you just took your kids everywhere you went and they had no choice in it,
Yeah.
whether it be to the job or they're working in the restaurant with you as fucking, 8 years old and they're helping serve in the restaurant, whatever the case was, that's the way it
Yeah.
was. So
Mhm.
do you think that having kids early um made you smarter business wise in terms of the decisions you were making?
Um, Smarter, no, because I don't like necessarily think any knowledge came from that. I think again back to the responsibility and
Yeah,
knowing that any move that you were gonna make had to count. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm going to work at 8 hour shift at steel factory, right, and I'm
yeah,
going to get up at 5:30 in the morning and go to work, and then rely on my babysitter to watch my kid after work when I get off at 3, and I'm going to do an internship till 8 or 9 that night.
yeah,
Those things had to be put in place, and you had to make sure it was going to count. So like I wasn't going to go to that internship, 6 years ago and fuck it off. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't going to not sit there and watch the engineer that was working with a client and not ask him questions and not, what I mean, build those
yeah.
relationships, build that rapport. You know what I'm saying? Um, so smarter, no, but more diligent, yeah.
I guess being more diligent, that does kind of equate to being smarter with your decisions, though.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
do
but
you,
that applies to a lot of things. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like there's certain things that as a father, you just don't put yourself in certain situations of in general when you
which is
have children.
smarts.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying? There's certain
Yeah,
things
yeah,
that the inkling to go do because I have those relying on me. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
Ain't nobody paying my rent but me.
So how do you balance? Because I can't even imagine, MC, producer, engineer, you own your own company. How do you balance like family life with professional life without being too absent from them, but also putting in the necessary time and work in the business side?
I'm blessed now. Uh Early on, I was a single dad with my oldest. I got custody of him after he was about 6 months. So he's my soldier because he's the one that I drug with me. He was the one that was just with me every day
Yeah,
on what it is that I had to do. And I was blessed to be able to make that happen with him. With my younger children now, I have a good wife, right? I have an understanding companion who helps balances those things. The first 4 years with her, she was a stay-at-home mom,
yeah,
right? So for me that was easy, right? Because she was understanding. First off, that's I was doing the same thing she met me doing. When she met me, I was running the studio. It was before I got my commercial unit though, but I was still running my studio then. She was understanding. She held her house down. I ran out and I could work whatever kind of hours that I need to work. Right.
Yeah.
Now she works full time and is a juggling act.
Yeah.
Right. So she's on call. She's got a lead position. Right. So she's got employees that she has to cater to as well. And we kind of balance it off. Hey, what's your schedule looking like? All right, this is what my schedule is looking like. We need a babysitter here. We need a babysitter there. Right? Okay, I can take the kids with me here to do this. You take the kids here with you to do that, and then we switch shifts. You see what I'm saying? That's kind of how it's been working. In these last about year and a half. Right? I'm an everyday dad.
Yeah.
I wake up with my babies. I go home to my babies. If I got to be in the studio till 4 in the morning, I'm in the studio till 4 in the morning. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I salute you for being a single father, having custody of your child, and taking responsibility for that. And it's something that cuts deep with me because I went through all that as well.
sure.
And I spent 13 years in the court systems battling for my kid. And there's a lot of really good fathers out there that don't get the opportunities to be
All
in
right.
their child's life
Yep.
because the system is so flawed.
Mm-hmm.
And, a lot of fathers walk away because of the hell that's instilled upon them. And it's just they can't bear it anymore. Instead of this image of deadbeat fathers, man, there's a lot of deadbeat mothers out there.
I agree with you 100%. Me personally though, I didn't have a hard fight necessarily when it comes, fortunately and unfortunately, depending on perspective, right?
Yeah,
On getting custody of my first one. Um, it wasn't a hard fight. I got him, and I just roll with it ever since.
yeah,
And with hindsight now, I feel like that it was easier for me to do it as a single parent with him than would had been if I had to do a co-partnership with her. Right. I have that hindsight now, right?
yeah,
When early on I didn't necessarily feel that way. I'm like, yo, I got all this pressure and I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I'm doing this and doing that. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
now I can see that. I on the what you said too, as far as the fathers, the good fathers that walk away because of the hell that they have to go through in order to get their kid. I
yeah,
don't personally think that that's an option. Everybody has their own cases and their
yeah,
own
yeah,
circumstances. And I didn't walk your shoes, so I ain't judging nobody who made those kinds of choices.
yeah.
For me personally, hella high water. I'm keeping my babies. Right? My other three children were easier to keep. Right? And that's just how I look at it. But there's definitely a lot of great dads out there. I have some of my friends are great dads that don't get their kid as much as they want their kid.
Yeah,
And I know they're awesome dads.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So I think it's all case by case. Me getting custody of my oldest was the best decision that I've made as an adult. Uh, and staying with my other three was also the best decision that I made.
and you know what? There's a lot of cases like that, and I don't know why they don't get highlighted more often too, because one of the hardest things it is in this world is in the eyes of the system is just to be a father and be in your kid's life when things don't work out, right? And there's just this perception that the mother knows best. And I'm not knocking women, I'm not knocking mothers, but it happens a lot where they use the system as a financial gain.
Some women don't want to be mothers, and that's what doesn't get talked about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shooting from the hip on this part, right? But men aren't like prone to a lot of talking, right? When we're going through things.
Yeah.
So we could be going through a situation where our baby mother or whatever the case may be, and we're not necessarily going to be on Facebook blabbing about the fact that our other half doesn't want to be a parent. It's
Yeah.
just not something that we do, right? So this goes back to just marketing at best, right? Who does the most complaining? A single mother will complain about not having a present dad more vocally, but it doesn't mean that both of those situations aren't happening, maybe even at the same rate.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody talks about the women who don't want to be mothers,
There's a
right?
lot.
And then a lot of women take the frustrations of having to be a mother out on a father.
It's true. I lived it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I've watched it and I've lived my half of it.
Yeah. And it took me 13 years of battling, but I finally got custody of my son.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it was a hard road.
Yeah.
And once again, it just shows that grit and determination and perseverance, that it doesn't matter. And this applies to business, whatever career you're getting into. It doesn't matter what other people project you as. You got to
No.
stay the course,
Sure.
because you will get there eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a fight. You know what I mean? So, and even though, you know, in my situation, it wasn't necessarily as much of a fight to get him in the first place, but it was a fight to maintain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was 20. I couldn't even buy my first drink yet. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
remember, and then even too, again, speaking from my perspective, but even as a single father, you still have a female's help,
Oh, of
especially
course.
early
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
Yep.
There was a female somewhere picking up the baggage that the mother didn't pick up. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I'm not gonna sit here and leave that absent. You know what I'm saying? When
Yep.
my oldest was a little, when he was a wee baby, she taught me how to change diapers. She
Yep.
taught me how to pat him on the back with a bottle. You see what I'm saying? Like she taught me how to burp them and all of these things. You see what I'm saying? So now,
Yeah.
you know, my wife looks at me now and she's like, you know, she's at work and I might have the kids that day, and she'll text me. She's like, "Yo, you're a really awesome dad." I'm like, "This ain't my first time."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I did
Yeah.
this already. This is easy. I just got more of them. But you know, like
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
my case, my older two helped my younger two. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, all right, you know, you kind of just roll with it. You know what I mean? So, but there's always a woman present. And aside from my grandmother, I always had with my oldest a female companion that would assist, even if she was just watching him when I went to go work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I've always had an assist somewhere. So I don't think any one lone person can be a parent and pay bills at the same time.
No.
You got to have a village. Somebody is doing something for you to help you along to do that.
And not only that, you can't be, men, we got our roles, women have their roles.
Yeah.
You can't be a mother and a father at the same time. There has to be some type of balance, right?
You need help. You
Yeah.
need help. I'm not saying you can't do both, but somewhere along the lines of you're the one, somebody's helping you somewhere.
Yeah.
Something you can nurture, though. A man can nurture. I did it.
Yeah, for sure.
Do it now with my youngest boy. You see what I'm saying? Our nurturing just comes in different forms. Whereas, for example, just happened just yesterday, as a matter of fact, we're in Busch Gardens, right? My baby boy, he's walking, he's starting to be talking. We're at Busch Gardens. He's tall enough for certain rides. They say he could take 3 steps, he could ride this ride. Put that boy down, he walked to that ride, they strapped him on. What did my wife say? Take him off that ride. He can't ride that ride. Why? Because she's being protective, right?
Yeah.
Eyes me down, gives me the stink eye the whole time, right? And I'm like, he's got it, right? I'm gonna embrace it. Boom, there you go. He ride the ride. Kids going around the thing, the teacups with a smile on his face. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
My other kids loving it. It's a different kind of nurturing,
it
right?
is.
He falls off the swing. She's the first one to go run and pick him up. He falls off the swing, and I see visually and I acknowledge that he's not necessarily hurt himself, right? Yo, get up, dust it off. He stops crying. He gets up. He goes to go back to playing with his toy lawnmower. He's good.
Yeah,
So it's just different forms, right? If he's up at night and he's crying and he's upset, I pick him up. I pat him on his back. I throw him over my shoulder. I go find him his bottle. I go find him his blanket. And I got iPad babies. I go find his iPad, right? And he's chilling right here, right on my chest, right on my shoulder. So I still nurture him. I just don't baby him. I don't do the
yeah,
baby talk.
yeah, yeah.
So it's just different forms of nurturing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. I'm gonna spin off that. But we're about to sign off on the block. Again,
Mhm.
like always, the hour fucking flies.
That was a
And
fast out.
it definitely was. And special shout out to everybody tuning in on the block. Like I always say, for yourself as well. Time is the most expensive currency. We don't get it back. So you got to
Yep.
be careful who you spend your time with. And I
Yeah,
appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate you spending your time with us. But we're
for
about to
sure.
sign off on the block. Let everybody know where they can find you at.
I'm on all platforms, every bit of social media except for TikTok. Une3kk.
There you
All
go.
of them. Yep.
And Lefty Pacino, DJ Mikey G, they're going to take us out of here with our theme song, Cigar Talk. We're out.
Out to them.
Peace. Um, TikTok. So I'm going to spiral off that because you just mentioned it. Is there a specific reason you're not on TikTok? And I'm curious if that lines up with the specific reason I don't invest too heavily in TikTok.
Um, for me, it's kind of simple. I think my oldest boy was making comments with my phone or something like that on TikTok, and my personal account got banned, and I didn't
Okay.
really feel the need to necessarily get it back. So
Yeah.
that's my reason. I think TikTok is a really good platform, just as well as any other social media to get your business or your music out. I think any social media serves that point. I don't have a personal vengeance against them necessarily. Um, that's just me.
Yeah.
But with all of that being said, I'm not really a social media person. So I don't use social media as much as you think that I should probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm kind of come from a different era. Um, even this company that I've built has been successful, and I would have to say the least amount of marketing has been spent in social media. So this is a company that was built the majority off of word of mouth and just doing good work.
Yeah.
Um, and then further on, as it went more commercial, then Google did a lot of my marketing, which is actually how I met Lefty Pacino.
Okay.
Yeah, was through Google. He called me probably like 2 years ago, and we ended up just having a 30-minute conversation on the phone way before I met him in person and before he even came into the studio. But that's my bro. I love bro to death. I could pull up at his house and drink a beer. I've done so. Like, that's my dog. And I've built a lot of other really dope relationships that way and through Lefty. Like Mikey. Mikey's been spending me lately too. So I
Yeah.
fuck with bro a lot. Yeah. So yeah.
That's where social media I find comes in because I got 10 years on you.
Mhm.
So I'm even further back in the era where, social media is very foreign.
Yeah.
And when it came in, I really refused it.
Sure. I still am.
Yeah, but now I've found if you use it as a tool, it can be very useful, which is how I came across you. It's how I came across Lefty, Mikey G, and it all started from establishing a relationship with like Big Twins and Ty Nitty, which flowed me over to Mikey G, and it just goes down the line. It was all through social media, so it's very beneficial. My problem with TikTok is it's so restrictive in what you can say, in a sense of I can't post a cigar on there without getting restricted.
Hence why I'm banned.
You know, I
Right.
can't I can't if I go out into the woods and I take a video or a photo hunting, you can't
Yeah.
put that on TikTok because there's a gun there.
Yeah.
So even though it's a survivalist type thing, you can't put that there.
Yeah.
You can't even use certain words. I got restricted on TikTok because I used the name Hitler in a comment about something.
I mean, I think TikTok as a brand though has just recently gone through some of their trials and tribulations, even being a platform in general
Yeah.
in the United States.
Yeah.
So we don't know how long TikTok is going to be around. All right. But I also don't know what it is TikTok is doing that Instagram isn't doing, or that the whole meta thing isn't doing. Right. But TikTok was very trendy as far as like having cool tunes and stuff that you can make a dance to. You can go very viral very easily on TikTok. I know that.
Yeah.
And there's a way that you can get a lot of impressions, but even to my understanding, like even some of the logistics of being able to even to be like eligible for that kind of thing is different. You know what I mean? So you have to
Yeah.
use like a song on their platform. Uh, they could do it. I think what Universal didn't sign a deal with them, and like now half the catalog from Universal is not on TikTok. You can't use those songs. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's still a thing now or not, but I know it was at one point. Uh, from my business TikTok, I can't even find my catalog on TikTok, but from my personal TikTok, I could.
Okay.
It's
It's funky like that, man.
You got me. Don't know. And frankly, I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me one way or the other. I come from the book bag era. I
Yeah.
burned CDs in the house and I took them to school and sold them and came back with money. You see what I'm saying?
There's
But
there's no comparison to that era, to be honest. It's
I kind of wish it was still that way.
it created such and this is the whole thing that I have with when it comes to music, right? There's a lot of people that still like having that physical.
Sure, but now you can't play it on anything.
True. I mean,
That's
even modern day cars don't even come with a CD player.
No, like I wish that we were still in that era, right? Because then you would have to really hustle. That's where your hustle would come in, right?
Yeah.
But even now, I met a kid, random kid, had nothing to do with my company, never recorded them, nothing like that. I'm just out with my kids and shit, and just met him. And the dude hands me a CD, and he's just in the parking lot. He's like, "Yo, listen to my shit," and I'm like, "Yo, I would, but I ain't got shit that plays a CD."
Yeah.
Literally, I do not have anything in my yard or in my house that I could spin a CD-ROM in.
Not even modern day laptops come with a disk drive.
No, I'm on a laptop, no disk drive.
Yeah.
My Mac Mini sitting behind it, no disk drive. My kid's PS5, no disk drive.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing in my house that plays a CD. My truck won't play a CD. My wife's car won't play a CD. Nothing. Everything is digital.
That's why that's why I stick with the older cars because they can still play CDs. You're
I got
still
an
in that.
06.
No, not even. I got a 17 F-150 for work and it still has a CD in it.
Does it? My 06 don't.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I had a I think it was I think it was an '02 Infinity i30,
Mm-hmm.
and it had that 6 disc drive. I fucking bought the car for just a daily commuter. I
Yeah.
crashed it not even 24 hours after, and you know how I crashed it? Changing the fucking CDs.
Yeah. Yeah. Even me, I'm a consumer of music, obviously, in my free time, right? First place I go is Apple.
Hmm.
I go to Apple. And when I first started rapping, when I first started getting into music or even having an interest in music, especially as an artist, you weren't just getting on Apple.
Yeah.
DSPs weren't a thing yet. All right. So we were sitting there printing CDs, you and your homies sitting there with a Sharpie or something, writing down your phone number and your email, right? Trying to get it off and hope something will pop if it just circulated into the right hands. Like, bro, they won't know. You were still on LimeWire and shit.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
you weren't getting on iTunes unless you got a deal.
I still bootleg my shit. You know what I do? I have a Google phone. So what I do is I go because the Android operates as a computer.
Yeah.
So I'll go to YouTube, I'll copy and
Hmm.
paste the link into an MP3 converter, and then I'll convert it on my phone and it'll just download straight to my phone. So I still bootleg everything.
That's what we do in the building. For all the artists that come in that don't want to purchase their beats
Hmm.
and they pay $100 for 2 hours or $50 for an hour, and you rip the shit off YouTube. Use YouTube the MP3 converter, and you
Yep.
make sure it ain't got no clicks and pops or nothing in it, right? So you
Yep.
convert it into a wave, and then you load it into Pro Tools, and they're good to go. So I rip music every day. I've gotten pretty good at it. I actually figured out how to rip music off of Apple.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, so
Well,
I've gotten pretty
keep
good at
that
it.
secret to yourself.
I will.
But that was one of the things when Apple Music came in, and you could get a track for like, what was it, like 60, 70
99.
cents,
Yeah.
and you would just sit there and boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, you max out a credit card. You're like, how the fuck did that just happen?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you downloaded 1,000 fucking songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you used to have to ride in the car and flip through the if you had one of those nice cases with the CD slots in it, you just have to flip through it and you burn your own. Yeah, one of those. You
I
burn
still
your own
got it
mixtape.
right here. I
Yeah.
still got
I
it.
remember my aunt and her first car was ended up being my first car. Used to have it sitting in her car, flipping through this, where her NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and shit like that in there.
So speaking of NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, not
Yeah.
not that I'm gonna get into that, but what would be something that is in your playlist that would surprise people?
Now,
Yeah,
surprise, John Bellion, maybe. Yeah, and honestly, I love his content too. But like I say, like I'm like 2 years into production, and dude is an incredible fucking producer,
yeah.
right? A lot of people might not be into him because he's kind of popish, but I'm a fan of good production. Dude's really good at production, and he can rap when he wants to. He chooses not to a lot of times, I'm sure. Um, so that's one. Probably Shabuzi. I think when he came out with his last album, I rode to that thing religiously. I probably went through that album like at least 15 times. It was great to ride to.
Do you think being into production engineering, you've you've come to have an appreciation for all types of music that if say you had not gotten into that aspect of music, you wouldn't have?
um, I think slowly but surely I'm evolving to a point to where if I wanted to do other genres, I could.
Okay.
I think that's what that's getting to. My taste has changed so drastically, considering that I started from hardcore and Detroit rap, right?
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I was a kid with baggy jeans and a white tee. And if you played me anything with autotune, I'd have told you it sucked because it was on autotune. Right? I went through that. Like I remember hating Young Money because I felt like it was all fake. I remember that, and that's when they were going on their big run, right? I hated all of that. I was into deep underground rap. That was my thing. And
Yeah.
I still have very big appreciation for that now. But I also grew up in a rural area, right? So like I love country music. I still do. You know what I'm saying? My wife plays Morgan Wallen in the house and I fucking love it. You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So uh my grandmother introduced me to all different kinds of taste of music early on.
Yeah.
So listening to the Temptations and Stevie Wonder is a thing. Like my kids now think I'm weird. I'm riding around to Anthony Hamilton. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you get older, your taste develops, other things start to appeal to you when you start living through life. And those artists give you a different spin on different perspectives of what they went through. They just give it to you in a different way.
Yeah.
There are times where I get bored with rap.
Yeah.
But you have to understand too that I do rap for a living. So I'm taking on all different kinds of clients, all different kinds of artists who have all different kinds of viewpoints, right? And some of them don't have the ability to be different, right? So I might record the same song. Well, I might record 5 different songs on the same beat because that beat is trending right now on YouTube.
Yeah.
Is he right? I've gotten tired of negative rap, to be honest. Drill specifically, not to keep harping on it. But I don't think that it's a very positive genre. And I actually don't record it as an engineer. I refuse it. So yeah.
And that's interesting too. Like you say you refuse to do drill.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had an artist come to you and you're just like, not for me?
Mm-hmm. Mostly off of content, but also how they present themselves when they're in my space. Right? Because regardless of what it is that you're into, and regardless of what it is that I'm into, for this time that we got to get that record done, we're infusing our energy.
Yeah.
So I take on some of your energy and you have to take on some of mine, even if we're just sharing the same space at the most basic level. All right. So if I can't deal with you energetically, and if energetically you're making me feel some kind of way, then I don't want to be in your space. You see what I'm saying? And
yeah, go ahead.
For me, I had a battle. It's actually something that I've asked Lefty about, right? Because his music is gritty. He makes gritty rap.
Yeah.
Right. And I do it every single time he comes in the studio with a smile on my face. I'm like, yo, you like that? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, that's great. Right. He didn't talked about doing all kinds of things to a motherfucker. Does it bother me? Nah. Doesn't bother me in the slightest bit. I'll never tell him he can't do it. Right. So I battled with what's the difference, right? Like, would I had a problem with recording NWA if I was alive and like able to during that time when they were doing their thing? Probably wouldn't have had a problem with it. I don't know. It's the energy of it, right? I've experienced drill rap where it's different, as in I've known guys that have been murdered, and then a month later somebody comes in and they're describing their murder.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
That shit hits different. You see what I'm saying? It's a little different. And then I gotta tell them, yo, I'm not gonna record that because I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
There was actually something that I was listening to an interview today, and they're talking about the recent thing with Gucci Mane getting robbed.
Yeah.
And then he went and made a track about the robbery, and they're essentially saying that he was fucking snitching on everybody that was involved. And again, like what you're saying is an incident happens, you make especially in these modern times where, the feds are out there and they're listening.
Yeah.
And everything that you say, they will use to incriminate you.
They can now.
So what would be the purpose of rapping about it?
They don't understand that. It's not something that those particular individuals are looking in that kind of depth of.
Yeah.
Right. Until, but I've got homies that have done time and they'll come back and tell you, Yo, you know all them raps you posted on Instagram? They got a whole little room right there where they sitting there listening to it. Right? You go ahead and catch you a case. They're gonna be like, oh yo, ain't you bro who said da 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 da? Right?
Mm-hmm.
They're aware of these things. They know what's going on. You know what I
So
mean? So
the hip hop task force is still alive and well.
yeah, but they call it gang task force.
Yeah, they're
That's what they
always
call
trying. Yeah, they're always trying to catch people, and you gotta be very careful what you say and how you say it.
it for sure. Yeah. So, to me that drill specifically just had a different taste. Um, and even just as an engineer recording it, typically is like a punch in rap
Yeah,
where it's a little different, where it's all freestyle. It's not something that they wrote most times. It's not something that they wrote, and like they're in the booth and like they're yelling very profane things a bar at a time, and you have to keep up as the engineer to be able to track it out. And I have a template in Pro Tools for myself that makes it easier for me to do that,
yeah.
where I'm not running a track linear. I'm running them staggered.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So first here, second here, third here, fourth here, and then you keep tracking them down the line until you get what you're trying to get. You see what I'm saying? In order to keep up with the speed.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't deal with that until I came to Norfolk. I remember the first time I had to punch somebody in a bar at a time when I was lost. You know what I mean? So I came from, if you wrote a 16, you should be able to spit a 16.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So, and then even in those groups of guys, you know what I mean? There's always a diamond in the rough, even with them. So
Yeah.
there's always one out of the bunch who desires to be different. There's one out of the bunch who wants to do different, who is different, right? And slowly but surely, if you stick around long enough, you'll watch him develop, and he'll shed his group.
Yeah.
And instead of coming with 4 or 5 of them at one time, which here I don't allow anymore, but you'll watch them start to come by themselves.
Yeah.
Because maybe he wanted to do something that was a little bit more sing-songy. Maybe he had a girl that broke his heart and he wants to talk about that and he can't do it in front of his homies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So then it's like, all right, I got you. Let's develop what you got going on, right? Um, and then also for me being a business owner, I have to wear a little bit of a different hat. Uh, aside from my own personal taste in music, and it turns into safety in my building,
Yeah.
right? Even when I'm not here. And when my other engineers are taking on sessions and they're dealing with certain types and kinds of clients, right? Now safety is a big thing.
Yeah.
You can't have anybody random book you after 10 because that's the midnight hours after that,
Yeah.
right? So now you only take who you're accustomed to running with after 10. The general public shouldn't be able to just book you at 10, like midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, we got a no firearms. I have my firearm with me, but it's a no firearms unless registered. So you can't walk in this building with a big doofy assault rifle stuff down your pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I can help it. Yeah.
And you're in Virginia?
Yeah, I'm in Norfolk.
And Virginia is a very two-way friendly state.
What do you mean?
Second Amendment firearm friendly, legal firearm friendly state.
Yeah, sure. Especially in rural areas.
Yeah. Um, do you think that in a situation like that, if you could go and do it legally, you could essentially obtain pretty much whatever you want, right? So
Yeah.
why do it the other route? Why not just make sure you're protected and you obtain your firearms legally?
Because
And
some people don't have the intent of being protected. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair
I
enough.
had the I had the intent on doing things the right way and being protected. I bought a gun the right way, right? You're talking about your average teenager who doesn't have anything to protect yet.
Fair enough.
His intent might be different at that time
Yeah.
as a youngin. You know what I'm saying? Whatever influences that he got going on. You see what I'm saying? So not everybody obtains a firearm with the intent on being protected.
Because I think back to certain interviews with Prodigy,
Yeah.
and it was like, one of the things you said, all these years I could have just obtained illegally instead of fucking getting caught up
Yeah.
carrying illegally, which put him in a situation to get locked up for what, 3.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, my perception is, intent aside, why not at least just cover your ass that way so that if you do get caught in a situation, you get pulled over, whatever the case is, at least you don't have a worry with what you're carrying.
That's something that you do when you have wisdom, oftentimes, when either you or somebody around you can help aid you with that, right?
Yeah,
Give an example. When I was 12, 13, coming into my adolescence and puberty hits, right? My dad was around. My dad says, hey, you might start to do these kinds of things, right? Because now they're starting to interest you. What he tell you to do? Put your rain boots on, right?
yeah.
You get out there and you start doing these things, right, with the opposite sex,
Mm,
night where you didn't necessarily want to put your rain boots on.
yep,
You see what I'm saying? Did you
yep.
always listen?
Um,
You feel me? So, with wisdom, you can look back and be like, oh man, I ain't doing nothing unless I put my rain boots on. You see what I'm saying? Like, now, I'm not ever going to obtain a gun unless I go about it the right way. Right.
yeah,
But when you're 14 in the house and you ain't got nobody to tell you nothing like that, and you got a bunch of bad influences around you, like, ain't nobody tell you can go buy that same gun legally. But at 14, you can. 14, 15, and 16, even what, 17, 18, you can. When can you buy a gun? What's your legal age? What is it, 21 or is it 18?
it's different. From my understanding in the States, it varies from state to state. In Canada, it's
Yeah.
completely different.
Oh, okay. Well, I know here you can't get one at least till you're 18. I'm pretty sure you gotta be 21.
In,
But-
in Canada, you can get your license when you're 12,
oh, okay.
meaning that you could have your license to shoot under the advisory of an adult. When you're 18, you can get your license. But
Mhm.
up here, we don't have the Second Amendment. We don't have concealed carry. We don't have open carry.
Oh, wow.
In fact, they're banning fucking everything.
Yeah.
And it's something that up here they used to teach hunting in school.
Yeah.
They would teach you about it. They teach you how to gut and harvest an animal. That's all
Mhm.
gone.
Yeah.
So the times have drastically changed. In fact, they wanna do a generational ban on tobacco.
Wow.
So they just did this in the UK. And the reason I talk about this is because um, our media is essentially banned in other places,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people don't know what actually goes on up here.
Right.
But in the UK, they're pretty much about to pass a law of a generational tobacco ban, meaning if you were born in, let's just say, the year 1998, you are now going to be banned. You can't purchase any tobacco for your life.
That's interesting.
And now they're talking about doing that up here.
Well, back in the days, you used to be able to smoke anywhere you wanted to. Just about. I
Yep.
went on a report this past weekend. Just came back from this resort, right here in Virginia, and I go out. It's like 3 in the morning. Kids asleep. Me and my wife are having our time. I go out to the back patio. I'm not gonna smoke inside of the resort. God know better, right? So I go out
Yeah.
to the back patio to go smoke. There's signs out there that say I can't even smoke on the back patio. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? I've been in certain clubs or bars where you cannot smoke, especially cigarettes. Right.
It's
So
it's coming. We have a nationwide ban on smoking, so you can't. There's no cigar lounges, for
yeah.
example. You can't smoke on a patio at a bar.
Mm-hmm.
Across the board, you can't do it.
Yeah.
And because it's when I talk to people in the cigar world in the United States, they're used to the freedoms. You can go to a lounge, you can sit down, you can smoke, you can have your conversations,
Not
no
anymore.
harm, no foul, right? You can't do that
Mm-hmm.
up here. Everything up here has become underground.
Mm.
So if you want to go and smoke in a lounge, it's essentially a speakeasy style.
Right. Almost like prohibition for cigars. It's crazy.
It, it's it,
Really?
it but here's the thing. Here's the thing that's gonna make you go, what the fuck? We can grow our own weed. Nationwide, you are allowed to grow your own weed. Indoors, outdoors, you can grow your own. I think the legal limit is 4 plants.
Wow.
Now, if you get 4 healthy plants budding, that's quite a bit of bud for the year.
Yeah.
I grow it myself. So
Mm-hmm.
you mean to tell me we can grow our own weed, but I can't smoke a cigar in a lounge?
I think probably marijuana is probably, and I don't smoke marijuana, but I'm pretty sure marijuana is more like health friendly than tobacco is,
Yeah, especially cigarettes.
especially cigarettes. And I smoke cigarettes.
We need to get you on the cigars, man, because the
Yeah,
cigars,
exactly. No, I smoke cigars. I just don't buy them.
but
Yeah, my father-in-law, he'll rip one out. You know what I mean? I'm there at the grill. I smoke a cigar. I love them. Maybe I should buy them.
but you need to count your blessings because the prices of cigars in the United States, when they come up to the border, 300% tax.
Wow.
So, for example, there's a specific cigar that just came out. It's called the Thunder Kiss. It's a $7 cigar in the United States.
Mm,
Up here after taxes, it's 20 something dollars.
wow. That's crazy. Well, even here, if you go to New York, this pack of Newports cost me about 10 and some change. If you go to New
Yeah.
York, it's probably what, like 13, 17, some dumb shit like that. It's like way more expensive. It like goes up like gas rates.
There's a
Oh,
reason for that.
piggyback on the conversation. You cannot legally carry a firearm in some of those northern states. Doesn't mean there's not shootings there.
Exactly. And the funny thing is going back to the firearms, they did a handgun ban up here. So
Oh,
essentially, if you already own it, you can use it at a range, but you can't purchase new handguns and you can't pass it down to, say, your son or your daughter.
hmm.
They did this based on the statistic of, street violence, right?
Mhm.
But if you look at the statistics, not to throw America under the bus because I love Americans, I love America. They're they push Cigar Talk Toronto content. Not even Canada supports this endeavor. I get more support out of country than here, which seems to be the case with everything you do.
Yeah.
So they use the statistic, got to reduce the street crime if we ban all guns, da 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 da. 90% of the guns used in crime come from the United States illegally.
Yeah.
So tell me how they're banning legal owners for something that they're not even taking part in.
Yeah.
I got 2 safes full of stuff that I can't even take to the range
Yeah.
because of statistics that don't make any sense.
Yeah. I see
And
what you're saying.
it's coming your way.
I'm sure it is.
It's
But
coming your way.
I'm 15 minutes from this building from Virginia Beach, oceanfront, which is a tourist area. Weather just started to get good, and I think we've had 2 shootings already, mass shootings,
Yeah.
where 8 people are getting shot from adolescents.
That's a
So
topic
what they
we
decided to do here is put a curfew, right? I haven't been out there since the curfew. I don't even know how long it's supposed to last because I'm not pressed, but uh can't even be out after 9 here at a Virginia Beach oceanfront.
Anybody?
Nobody.
Wow.
At first, it was just under a certain age. You had to be accompanied by an adult. And I think it's a temporary curfew, but nobody after 9. Couldn't even walk the street. This is a tourist attraction. Yeah.
You're talking about, mass shootings. This is a topic we discussed before many, many, many episodes ago. In your perspective, why do you think it's America that's um, highlighted in the mass shootings and it's so frequent?
I can't give you a direct answer as to why I feel like it's happening in America because for one, I'm pretty sure it's not just happening in America. But I'm not the type that looks at the news. And I don't keep up with politics, so I'm not pretty sure what's going on in any part of the world. Um, but you also have to look at what's being broadcasted and what's being an influence in our media too.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And I'm saying that too because I don't know what's in Canada's media. Couldn't tell you, right? I don't know what's going on in anybody else's media because I don't pay attention to it. But I know, and at least in our cases, music has power, and what
Yeah.
you see and what you watch and what you listen to has power, right? So if you have somebody that is a creative that's glorifying certain things to happen, and that one individual may even no longer be living that kind of a life, but if they're glorifying certain things to happen and to take place, and you're a listener who consumes that thing, and you let it dictate your judgments, then you become a little bit more prone to what am I desensitized.
Yeah.
Some of those things happen, which I remember when I was 14 listening to Insane Clown Posse and shit like that, right?
Yep.
It's hardcore rap. It's rap about murder, right? I would argue that at that time that that rap had a deeper meaning, and it does.
Yeah.
I listened long enough to hear it, right? Right? They were preaching a message of family and unity, and all of those different kinds of things within the juggalo community that I still
Yeah.
believe in, right? But you have, Pooh Shiesties or Young Boys or whoever else that's like preaching this drill and kill a person that looks like you, another colored person, right? And it becomes something that's less desensitized. And that was her worry, right? That made at that time when I was a young teenager, that made my aunt and my grandmother both dive into the juggalo realm to their best ability to figure out what it was that I was obsessed with listening to. All right. And many artists fought that fight before us. Eminem had to fight that fight.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? About his lyrics and what he was putting off to the world and how it was affecting certain communities.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? I think to no fault of anyone that music has power. I think if you read a positive book, like the 48 Laws of Power, and you ingest that and you take that in, that helps dictate your tomorrow, right? It helps you make choices. It helps you do certain things. And I think if you also take in negativity and that's what your food is and that's what you're ingesting and that's what you're taking in, that also can help fuel what it is that you make a decision on tomorrow. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good note and a good message to end this off on.
For sure.
And it's all what you choose.
Yeah.
And no matter what is being projected out there, you need to have common sense and human compassion.
Sure.
And you got to think about the long run.
Yeah. I agree.
Because a lot of times people get caught up in the emotions in the short term.
Yeah.
But if you could step back for a second and realize the impact it's going to have,
Yeah.
you might stray away from those snap decisions.
But that takes wisdom.
That's right. And you know what? Unfortunately, wisdom comes with age and experience.
What my grandmother said, age and wisdom don't live in the same house. No, youth and wisdom don't live in the same house. That's what she said.
Yeah. And I hope that at least there's some youth, I hope, out there that'll hear it and maybe view things a different way, and it'll make some sense in their head.
For sure. I hope so too. I pray on it.
And with that, I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. I appreciate yours.
And I look forward to what's coming next.
Yes, sir.
And I got 3 glasses of whiskey in me, so I got a 4 a.m. rise, so
that'll work. I have half a bottle of Tito's, and I do what I want to do.
I still live that blue collar construction life, so I'm on someone else's schedule.
Yeah, I hear you.
Maybe one day I'll be like you, and I'll be able to make my own schedules and live my freedom, which is the goal.
Will manifest it. I believe in it. I do.
I'm manifesting it every day of my life.
You will.
And
you will. Bro, I worked jobs till I cried on the toilet about it, bro. I was hurt. If I could do it, you could do it.
I think that's a common relatable saying. If I could do it, you could do it.
Yeah, it's true.
And you just have to have that passion for what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that drive to turn it into something successful.
Yeah.
And you will get there eventually.
You're doing it the right way.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
And I salute you for everything you've been through.
Thank you, sir.
And the man you've become through those experiences. And again, there's going to be nothing short of greatness coming from you.
Thank you.
And with that, we're out.
All right.
Peace, man. Appreciate you.
For sure.
I want to send a special shout out, Cigar Talk Toronto. Special shout out to Croatian Mafia Cigars. It's for the gangster in you, nigga. It's for the gangsters. DJ Mikey G. Put some cut on that dope. Lefty Pacino. Take it personal. Take it personal. Click, clack the beam. Take it personal. I spit the caffeine. Take it personal. Feel what I mean? The 30 R6 to MC. extras. Attacking every you go on the hit list. Burn the evidence, witness. Told the lawyer eat the case with the biscuit. Looked the judge in the face and told him stick it. Smacked the plaintiff in the face and told him fix it. Tapped the Henny on the bottom, then we lift it. Fully equipped, the blue beamer and it's kitted. Bend the corner 7:30, then we hit him. The bars leave a bad taste, so I spit them. Machete 50-50 sharp, so I split them. The black expedition put me in position. Focus on the mission, full tunnel vision. Every verse calculated, spoken with conviction. My condition is to grind every day by tradition. Built it from the dirt, self-made composition. Competition for you in every breath is ammunition. Take it personal, click clack the beam. Take it personal, I spit the caffeine. Take it personal.